Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about everything with baby number 3 since from conception up until now. I'll be 6 weeks pregnant tomorrow, so I'm going to cover everything that's happened in between when I got pregnant and now. I'm going to be doing these once a month, and it's going to be, I'm going to try to do it around the 16th of every month because I'm due August 16th. But before we get into the video, today's sponsor is Squarespace. I know that a lot of you guys who watch these videos are stay-at-home moms, and I know that stay-at-home moms love to have side hustles. So many stay-at-home moms that I know have their own online business or blog, and I think that's amazing because being a stay-at-home mom is great, but it's also amazing and empowering to have your own thing. So if you have been thinking about starting your own blog or online business, you should make it with Squarespace. They have beautiful designer templates, which is so important because presentation is everything. One of my favorite things about Squarespace is that they have 24/7 customer service. So if something goes down and you really need help right away, no matter what time it is, if you have a deadline, you have orders you need to get out, Squarespace is going to be there to help you through it. Don't worry if your domain is with someone else, you can switch it over to Squarespace with no problem. Whenever you're ready to get signed up, head to squarespace.com/Aaryn, and that'll give you 10% off your new website or domain. I also made it super simple for you guys by putting the link directly below in the description bar. So let's go ahead and get into my pregnancy update. Thank you once again, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video. It feels like just yesterday I was finding out I was pregnant with Skyla. Well, that's a lie. It doesn't feel like it was just yesterday. It feels like it's been a little bit of time, but not as long as it actually has been. So many things have changed, but it's just wild how fast time really flies. Like, a pregnancy is 9 months, and that seems so long, and it seemed so long when I was pregnant with Skyla, and then she was born, and now she's 2.5, and then I got pregnant again, and now Adeline is 1, and now I'm pregnant with number 3, and it's just like bam, bam, bam. It slips through your fingers so fast, and every time someone comes up to me in the grocery store or at the shop and they say, wow, you know, someone came up to me today and said, you know, God bless you, enjoy this time. This is the best time. It goes by so fast. It was an older woman. And it just, every time it rips my heart out because I know the pain that they're probably, I don't know the pain, I dread the pain, but I can see in their eyes the pain that they feel when they realize that they miss the baby phase. The baby phase is wonderful. And I do have people tell me, oh, the best is yet to come. It gets even better the older they get. And I hope that's right. I don't know. But I love the baby phase so much because they love their mommy so much and they need you so much. And it's truly the best. There is nothing better than squeezing a little baby and just, ooh, it's my favorite thing in the world. Like, my favorite thing in the whole world, which is why I want 4 kids. It's funny because I'm an only child, and I always thought growing up that I just wanted 2, but seeing Nick in a family of 4, and his mom basically, she makes it seem easy. I know it's not easy, but she makes it seem easy, and they're all really close. I know that as you get older, you're not as close as you used to be, but they're all so close, and I love seeing them all together because that bond is amazing, and I want my kids to have a support system of siblings because I would have loved to have siblings. When I went through some very difficult times in my life, including losing my dad, I felt very alone in that. So I totally digress, but yeah, I won't give me all the babies, all the babies. I'm gonna have a little bit of my coffee here. And yes, I am still drinking caffeine. I drank caffeine all throughout my pregnancy with Skyla and with Adeline, and I had no problems in my pregnancy. They both were very healthy, perfect pregnancies. I had GBS when I was pregnant with Skyla, and with Adeline, it was like a breeze. That pregnancy was angelic because I seriously took such good care of myself that I felt great through that pregnancy, guys. Like, great. I know there were days, and we all have our days, whether you're pregnant or not, but that pregnancy was angelic. My pregnancy with Skyla was a hard pregnancy, but I was super healthy, other than the way I was eating and not exercising and gaining too much weight. The pregnancy as a whole was a healthy, successful pregnancy. So I don't have more than 1 coffee a day, but I do still have my caffeine. But I also have Coke Zero, so I know that's really pushing it with caffeine. I do try to Like when I pour a Coke Zero, I just take the minimum amount of sips just to get the satisfaction. I waste so much Coke, but I just need that sip or just a couple sips of that satisfaction for whatever reason. I crave that taste and the carbonation. And the same with Starbucks. I crave the taste more than I crave the caffeine. I need it, but it's the taste. So even though I get ventis, this is so wasteful. I need to get grandes, but I probably drink it down halfway. I don't know, like now that I say that, see look, there's barely any ice left in this. I have so much going on that I forget to even finish drinking my drinks. So it may seem like I'm consuming a lot of caffeine, but I never even finish any of my drinks. Okay, so let's just get in. This is already gonna be so long, isn't it? God, okay. And I'm in a good mood today, which is great because a lot of times, and not a lot of times, but there are so many times that I'm either vlogging or I come to do a sit down video and I'm like stressed or tired or sick or just not feeling great. And I feel like it shows through in my videos and it's very obvious when I'm not feeling myself. So I'm so glad that today I'm feeling great because I can be truly like my happy self. And I'm gonna digress again, but I do this when I'm happy and enjoying filming. I go off on tangents, so I'm sorry if you're one of the people who's like, get to the point. No, I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, you know, whenever I aim to get 3 videos up a week, and I know it doesn't always happen, but there are days that like I have to film. Whether I feel not great or I feel great, I still have to film because I wanna hit my upload schedule. I wanna make sure that I'm getting consistent videos up. And I still film on those days, and I have to be honest, there are days and I'm just like, I don't want to pick up the camera today. I don't feel like vlogging today. And I can only imagine how daily vloggers feel because for all of us, I just feel like a couple times a week at least, you're definitely having an off day. And the last thing you want to do is come on your channel and be like, guys, like, I'm miserable today, like I don't feel good, I don't want to get out of bed, I'm stressed out, I have anxiety, I don't feel well, because that's just, people come on YouTube because they want to, they're probably not having a great day and they come on YouTube to lift their spirits. And so I feel like a lot of the time I want to come in here and be positive and lift your spirit and be energetic, and sometimes that is a struggle. So I digressed into a completely different tangent, but a lot of you guys think that people have said it to me before, like, it seems like you have it all. You have like a perfect life, or you have everything you could ever want. You seem so happy. And I just want you guys to know that I feel all the emotions that you guys feel too. I just try not to show it all the time on my channel or on Instagram or whatever. Like, Instagram is a highlight reel, and YouTube a lot of times for a lot of people is a highlight reel. They'll film the happy parts of the day and then they turn the camera off, and that's when they're sad or that's when they're having an argument. And I just want you guys to know that don't ever compare yourself to someone on YouTube or Instagram, because sometimes the people who seem like they have it the most together have it the least together, and that is the fact. That is the fact. A fact. That's facts on facts. All right, so we're gonna start at the very beginning. We're starting at conception. So after I had a miscarriage in September, I decided to start tracking right away, because everything after having Adeline was just not trackable. I didn't even know if I was ovulating. So I tried to take ovulation test a couple of months back, and while I was still nursing, and for me, when I'm nursing, ovulation tests come up positive every single day. So nursing for me, I can't nurse and simultaneously take ovulation tests. So once Adeline was officially completely weaned, I did start to take ovulation tests. But before all of that, in September, I got pregnant and I ended up having a miscarriage very early on. Very early. Like, if you're new here, it was like 9 days after I found out I was pregnant that I realized I was having a miscarriage. So I decided that I wanted to try again, but it took my body a long time to get back on track to a cycle to where I could track, take ovulation tests that were accurate, and pinpoint my fertile days. The following period after my miscarriage was like 10 or 11 days long. It felt even longer. I need to pull it up because I want to be accurate, but it was the longest period I've ever had in my life. It was about 9 days long. I guess that's not that long, but for me that's super long. And so right at the end of that, I started taking ovulation tests, and the couple of days right after my period, they were positive. Just for like 3 days in a row, they were positive. I was like, oh, maybe I'm just gonna set back to an average 28-day cycle, and maybe I'm gonna ovulate immediately following my period. And that was not true. I didn't have any of the ovulation symptoms, nothing like that. Fast forward, let's see how long it was after the end of my period when I finally got a positive ovulation test. 10 days after the end of my period, I finally got a positive ovulation test, and that was on Thanksgiving, which was 22nd. So you ovulate 12 to 24 hours after you get a positive ovulation test. So I marked my ovulation day as the 23rd, which is the day after Thanksgiving. Now, since we were at my mom's house and I had the girls with us and they were staying in the same room as us, Nick and I had to escape, okay? And it was just like a one-time situation out of my entire fertile window, and I just happened to get pregnant because I'm fertile myrtle. Seriously, I didn't think I was gonna get pregnant because there was no way. Normally, like, if you're trying to conceive and you're in your fertile window, you make it happen like every day of the window, and this just was not possible for the location and the situation we were in because the girls were in the same room, and I cannot with that. So Nick and I escaped and I got pregnant. So I started to take pregnancy tests like almost immediately. So there's this website that you can go on to called Countdown to Pregnancy, and you can look at days past ovulation and the statistics of getting a positive pregnancy test. Like, what's the likelihood of getting a positive pregnancy test? And they had like a 3% chance at 6 DPO, 6 days past ovulation. So just recap, if you're getting lost here, once you get a positive ovulation test, where the test line is darker than the control line, you can mark the following day as your ovulation day, because like I said, you ovulate 12 to 24 hours after, which I thought it was up to 72 hours after, and it may be. Anyway, I digress. So I just marked the 23rd, the day after. So at 6 days past ovulation, I started taking tests. Every morning I took a first response test. I'd wake up, I would take the test, and I even would post them on Instagram, and I'd be like, this is what it looks like at 6 days past ovulation. 7, 8, 9, all of those were negative. On 10 days past ovulation, we were just coming home from Adeline's first birthday party, and I had 2 boxes, at least 2 boxes, maybe it was just one, of the first response 3-pack that I brought with us to the hotel because I was testing every morning and I wanted to have like plenty on hand. If I got a faint positive, I was gonna be taking a million of them. So I just kept my stash with us at the hotel, and I put them in a drawer, don't know why. But we left and I forgot the test, and we were driving home from Dallas. It was a long drive. I didn't feel like, once we got home, I didn't want to run out to Walgreens. I didn't want to drag Nick to the store for pregnancy tests because he would think I'm crazy, because he already thinks I'm crazy. So all I had was the Amazon DIP test, which they're the cheap tests. They have a low sensitivity, so usually on those it takes a lot longer for them to show positive. But I'm I'm a expert at finding faint lines on pregnancy tests. So that morning of 10 days past ovulation, I woke up and all I had was the dipsticks. I was planning on going anyway to the store to buy first response that day, but I decided right when I woke up I was gonna take the dipstick, and I took it, and like, you would never be able to tell that there was any sort of faint line on this. Like, most people would look at it and say negative, throw it away. Even the doctor's office would look at that and be like, negative. And I saw like the faintest little squinter line, and I was just like, okay, there's a little line there. Like, I think there's a line there. But I talked myself out of it just because I've had a chemical pregnancy before, and then I've had a miscarriage before, so I didn't want to get excited. So I went and got the first response test, and I set up my camera to film because I just had a feeling. Not only did I have a feeling, but I saw that there was definitely the faintest of faint lines on the other one. So I set up my camera, I took the first response test, and there was absolutely a faint positive line there. I showed it to the camera, and I got a couple of comments that were like, this is such an awkward video because there's like no line there and she's freaking out. And I was kind of cracking up. I was like sharing them with some of my friends, and we were dying. Like, me and Tara were dying reading some of the comments because some people just don't get it. So a line is a line, no matter how faint it is, the freaking line is there. So I was excited. Each day after that, I kept taking tests, like for a long time. I think it was up until 12 days past ovulation, and then I kind of stopped for a while. I had ordered some more tests on Amazon, and I was gonna start doing a line progression with those tests, and what a line progression is. And if you're wondering why would anybody do that once you already get a positive pregnancy test, why would you do a line why would you do that? The reason is because in September, when I was having my miscarriage, the pregnancy test, they never got super dark, and then they started to get lighter and lighter every day until finally one day there was just no line there at all. And it was like dark, 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 light, light, light. It was like very clear as day what was going on with my body just by taking those cheap pregnancy tests every morning and lining them up on a piece of paper. So I was gonna do that with this pregnancy, but in the meantime that all of this was going on, I went in immediately the day I got the faintest line, and I got to do blood test for the lab. I called the OB's office, and they knew what had happened in September, so they had me come in that day to do a blood test, and then 48 hours later, and then I want to say it was 48 hours after that, but I had all these blood tests done, and every time I would have it done, my HCG would be doubling great, my progesterone was rising, everything looking beautiful on the blood test. I was so happy and thankful for that. But when they called me with my first results of my blood test, she was like, honestly, the HCG is so low on this, I can't believe that a home pregnancy test even showed up positive. They seemed really skeptical and didn't even believe me that it was even showing on a home pregnancy test. So I thought that was funny. But then every time I would go in, it was rising and rising, and finally they called me, when was it? I need to go into my pregnancy app. So the app I'm using is Pregnancy Plus. I'm gonna show it to you guys because it's really cool. So this is what, you can even hear it. This is what the baby looks like at 5 weeks. You can hit this tool down here and it will show you the actual size of the baby. So this is the size, like literally the true size of the baby right here. You can zoom in on it and you can like do like a 360 view, and it'll tell you everything that you need to know. So this week it has a 2-chambered heart, but tomorrow I'll be 6 weeks, and I think the heart is gonna be beating tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow the heart starts beating at by 6 weeks, or maybe, I don't know, that's just what this app says. I don't know the actual day, but if you can hear it, this is what the baby will look like tomorrow. And so when you guys are seeing this, the actual size of the baby will be, this will be the actual size of the baby tomorrow. So I have my appointments in here too. So I'm 5 weeks and 6 days. Tomorrow will be 6 weeks, and yeah, tomorrow's Friday. My due date is August 16th, and I'm gonna look at my appointments because I put all my appointments in here in the app. So, okay, so on Thursday the 13th, which was a week ago today, I was, let's see, 4 weeks and 6 days. So I was a day away from being 5 weeks. I need to put my notes in here because I want to start tracking because they're still doing blood draws with me for HCG, and I want to start tracking like how fast the HCG is doubling and the numbers and all of that. So my HCG at 4 weeks, 6 days, the day before it was 5 weeks, was like, I have it, let me pull it up. I think it was 1,665. Yep, 1,665, and my progesterone was a 21. So that's really, really good news. They wanted me to come in like Monday or Tuesday to get my blood drawn again, but we were at the ranch Monday, we came back Tuesday, so I couldn't do it that day. So I had my blood redrawn yesterday, so I'm waiting to get the call back. I can't wait to hear how the blood is doing and if it's rising. I'm hopeful that it is. I'm optimistic, I definitely think it is, because I've already been feeling a few symptoms, and I'll tell you guys about those in a minute. But we haven't had an ultrasound or anything like that yet, but I'm really excited to do that, and hopefully when we do that, we'll see a heartbeat and, you know, the whole thing. But but I want to tell you guys something about getting pregnant. So I was really nervous about having another miscarriage, so I was trying to I was taking prenatal gummies, and so, you know, my friend Amanda told me that, and it's not the Amanda that you guys are probably thinking about, this is a different Amanda, told me that her doctor told her not to take the prenatal gummies, and I don't know why, but that was in the back of my mind, and I was taking the prenatal gummies in September, so I stopped taking those and I got back on the Rainbow Light prenatal. So I was taking Rainbow Light prenatal and also the Rainbow Light DHA together, and also the Super B complex. But I have to tell you something about the Super B complex. If you take the Super B complex at night, you'll be up all night. So take the Super B complex in the morning, and then I take the prenatals at night so I don't get sick. Because I've been having a little bit of nausea in the mornings. Not awful, I mean, it's kind of awful, but not like real bad, really not that bad. I shouldn't even be complaining, but it's there. I'm glad to have symptoms, but I do have a little bit of nausea. Tiffany Beeston told me to take the Super B complex. She told me that if you have a short luteal phase, which means if you ovulate really late in your cycle, you can take a Super B complex and it should help lengthen your luteal phase. I don't know if that's proven, or I don't know. I honestly don't know the science behind that. I just know that Tiffany said it works, and also, or Tiffany told me to try it, and so I did. And Lauren Self Blogs said to try it as well. Lauren has had recurrent miscarriages, and she's experienced a late loss, and so she has talked to fertility specialists, and she actually has a video that I can link below that'll talk about getting pregnant fast and all the things that her fertility specialist told her, because I followed some of the things in that video. One of the things that was in there was, she said, CoQ10, which is a vitamin that people take to, like older people take to rejuvenate the cells in their body. It can help with egg quality, but it actually takes 3 months to start working. So I was taking the CoQ10 just because I didn't know how long it was gonna take to get pregnant again. And I wanted to just get on it, because if it took me 3 months again to get pregnant, then, you know, I would have the benefits. And then if it happened earlier, then that would be good too. She told me to stop taking it once I got pregnant. Her fertility specialist told her to wean off of it when she got pregnant. But for me, I was only taking it for just a very short amount of time, maybe a week, like, I think. So I just stopped taking it because I hadn't really been building it up in my system for that long. So once I found out I was pregnant, I stopped taking the CoQ10, but I'm still taking the Super B complex along with my prenatals and my DHA. I don't know if it's an oversupply of vitamin B, but when I go in and talk to my doctor, I'm gonna bring the stuff that I'm taking and ask her what she thinks, if it's too much, or I'm just gonna ask her what she thinks about it. So Tiffany told me that she took the Super B complex along with her prenatal throughout the whole first trimester. So so we'll see. But I have had a few people message me and say that I'm taking too much vitamin B with the prenatal mixed with the Super B complex. So I'm not sure. But let me get the vitamins that I'm taking so that I can show them to you guys. So I take these two before bed and this one first thing in the morning. Right now, me turning 6 weeks, usually they'll get you in for your ultrasound at 6 weeks, but now this is the week of the holidays, and so they're fully booked. So I can't get in just yet. But it's okay, because I feel like the longer I go without doing the ultrasound, the better of a chance there will be with seeing something on the screen. So by the way, I am determining how far along I am based on my ovulation day, not based on the first day of my last period, because if I did it based on the first day of my last period, my dates would be all wrong. Because when you base it off the first day of your last period, that's based off of a 28-day cycle. And what that means is that from the first day of your period to the end of your cycle, like right before you start your next period, 28 days. That's like an average. So that's what that means. For me, mine is not an average 28-day cycle, it's much longer. So for me, I've been basing off how far along I am on my ovulation day. So when I go in for my ultrasound, we'll be able to see exactly how accurate that is, and if she's gonna change my due date or keep it the same, or what they're gonna do, because on like the first dating scan, they're able to really tell how far along you are. So we'll see. what else? So I guess we can talk about like a little bit of symptoms and like what I've been feeling. I really didn't feel any symptoms in the very beginning other than I'm tired, but I'm tired all the time anyway. I have 2 kids, you know, I have a 1-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, so I'm tired anyway as it is. But my symptoms really haven't started at all until the last couple of days, and it's just been a little bit of nausea, definitely exhaustion. I feel like I'm kind of in a haze. I was with my friend Vicky today, and I just looked at her and I was like, did you feel like you were just gonna pass out all the time, like when you were pregnant, like around 6 weeks? And she was like, yes, like week 5 to 7. She said she was always tired and taking naps. And I just feel so just tired, just like, you know what I mean? It's just, you don't feel yourself. I don't feel sick or anything. I just feel way lower energy than usual. And then, like I said, a little bit of nausea. I haven't had any headaches yet, which is good. I've had a little bit of lower back pain, which scares me a little bit because I had that when I was having my miscarriage. So the lower back pain kind of freaks me out, but I have been having a little bit of that. And then I've already started to have a tiny bit of round ligament pain, which is just little sharp pains when you move or twist in your lower abdomen. Because right away when you start getting the HCG hormone, your body starts producing all of these hormones in your body that start to change your body like right away. It's crazy. But yeah, for the most part, I was really bloated last week. Really bloated, but I don't feel that bloated right now. I will show you guys my stomach, but it's nothing. It's just, I look the same as I looked before I got pregnant, but I'll show it to you just for progression, you know, month 1 through 9. I'll show it to you guys. But let's see, other than that, I already know, well, we already know what the name is going to be, whether it's a boy or a girl. We do plan on doing the blood test whenever they give us the option to find out the gender, and Tara is going to be the one to find out the gender, and then she's going to send us the stuff in the mail for our gender reveal so that we won't know. Hopefully no like powder or anything spills out in the box, because that would kind of suck, finding out like that. But yeah, let me think if there's anything else that I can think about that I feel like I need to get brought up. We've thought about like the room situation for baby number 3, because I do want the kids to have their own bed, their own rooms. As of now, one day maybe Skyla and Adeline might want to share a room, or you know, something like that. But for now, we want them to each have their own room. So I haven't decided exactly what I'm gonna do. We have a guest room upstairs right now and a guest room downstairs. So we have 2 empty bedrooms in our house right now. I don't know how long we're going to be at this house. I don't know if we're still gonna be at this house when the baby is born. So I don't know if it's even worth it to, you know, now that I think of it, I don't know if we'll be here or not. We might move sooner. We're actually meeting with a realtor tonight in like a couple hours to look at some houses. So we can never figure out what we want to do. Like, we're all over the place. Like, one day we're like, no, like, let's just keep renting for a little bit. And then the next day we're like, no, like, we want to own like an in-between home between now and when we build. Renting is great because you can get up and move and you don't have to worry about selling a house. There are a lot of pros and cons, but the cons for us is that while we're renting, we're not building up equity. And it also kind of feels like money down the drain, because you're never gonna get that money back. So we'll see. We just don't know, guys. If we are still in this house, I'm thinking about making the upstairs guest room. The way it works is like, there's Adeline's room, then you walk down a little bit further, and then there's Skyla's room straight ahead, and then to the left there's a guest room. So I'm thinking about making that guest room that's upstairs, that if you guys follow me on Instagram and stuff, Nick's friend, I put that guest room all together for Nick's friend when he came to stay with us. That would be baby number 3's room. And then Skyla, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna just move that queen bed somewhere else, or if I'm gonna put that queen bed in Skyla's room, or if I'm gonna put the baby in Skyla's room and then move Skyla into the room with the queen, or I don't know. Let's just get to the 2nd trimester. Let's think about that first before what room we're gonna put the child in, and names, because I'm even more attached this time than I was last time, because things are progressing so well and I just feel very confident. But I also don't want to get too crazy too fast, because I am not even 6 weeks pregnant. Okay, I'm gonna end the video. I'm gonna show you guys my belly and we're gonna call it a day. 6 weeks pregnant tomorrow. I'm not sucking in. This is just how my belly normally is. Had 2 babies, so it's just kind of there, you know? Just kind of permanently like this. All right, don't forget to subscribe and make sure your bell notification is on. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.